Welcome back to yet another awesome episode of the
Shit Show.
Brought to you by Shag Mag. Shag Mag is a digital magazine featuring the hottest women in the industry. We are 100% uncensored, 100% of the time. Guys, I'm nervous. Can you tell?
Don't be nervous.
Are you nervous?
I'm kind of nervous. Jordan. Stop it.
Okay. I got this.
We're going to have fun, so don't be
I literally
nervous.
am on set naked and I'm not this nervous. This is insane. Okay. 100% uncensored, 100% of the time at shagmag.com. Speaking of 100% uncensored, to my right, I have the wonderful
Becca.
That's it?
You
That's
know
all
it's
got?
me.
What did you say earlier? There's more than one of me?
Oh, no, because you were going to say one and only, but he's the
Don't
one and
ruin
only.
it. I know.
She was like, no, you're not the one and only. He is. I was like, okay, I guess I'm the two and only. Whatever.
So, ruining my intro to Jordan, the one and only
The Wolf of Wall Street. There I am, in the flesh.
in the flesh. Today, you're actually the wolf of all streets.
Wolf of all streets. I
Thanks
love
to
that.
Becca.
Thank you, Becca.
Did you see Becca's mug?
Let me see.
It says send lewds.
Send lewds. I
Instead
wish,
of
by the
nudes.
way, thank God they're illegal because I'd take two right about now, you know?
No way.
No, I'd probably give each of you one, but then again, you know?
Yeah.
Becca's literally been talking about it all week. She's like really wants. She's like in
I
on
want
it.
to know what it's like, you know?
What it's like. It's very hard to, so there's different phases of a Quaalude high, right? The first phase is called the tingle phase. Like you take them and your fingertips start to tingle. It's like euphoric.
She's
It's
like, I'm already
amazing,
in.
right? And then you go in from there into the what's called the slur phase. You start to slur your words, but you're like, well, you know, baby slur, ice, that's fine. You're like really cool with that too, right? Then you go into what's called the drool phase, where you start to drool out of the side of your mouth, right? And then it comes unconsciousness. So those, you want to stay between like tingle and slur.
Sounds like a Friday night,
Oh
if
yeah,
you ask
there you
me.
go. But then, of course, well, listen, you know, guys, then, of course, there's ways to balance it out with other substances. So back in the day, you know, after that, then would come the Coke and you know, up, down. The idea was to be in a state of perfect toxic poise. Like right balanced in the middle. That was the key. So hard to achieve, but, you know.
Hard to achieve.
Yeah.
Many experiments.
But I did achieve it on more than one occasion.
Nice.
All right, I want to answer all your questions. I want
Okay.
you to ask me like the.
We're
you
getting
know,
into it. We're
yeah,
getting
let's
into
go.
it.
Let's rock and roll.
So a lot of people don't know, but I actually had the pleasure of kind of interviewing for our September issue that just released. And what I found most interesting, not most interesting, but one of the interesting things I found was that when we asked you about a guy, how a guy would get a girl out of his league, you said, if you think she's already out of your league, you've already lost. My thing is, I feel like it's almost human nature for guys, even humans, to be real, to doubt themselves. And I was wondering, like, what kind of helped you? Did you always just kind of have that confidence, or is there like one thing in particular that like helped you gain that?
Yeah. No, I didn't always have that confidence. That's like a funny answer. But the truth is that, so, you know, there's two things. It's how you actually feel inside and what you portray to the world, right? And those, you know, are very often two different things. They always say, like, when you date someone, you don't really know who they are till like 6 months in. Like they send their
Becca
like,
just dealt with that.
No, it's true, right? We all, right? And, you know, they send you their representative first, and like it's the best version of themselves, right? But no, I think when it comes to women, I've been fortunate. I've dated a lot of gorgeous women over the years, right? And they were probably all out of my league in some way or another. But like I never looked at it that way. To me, it was more like a numbers game. Like a lot of guys, I think, are just intimidated. They think that a beautiful girl is going to reject them and they'll be embarrassed by that. But to me, it's like I think a lot of really gorgeous women are insecure because, you know, it's like when you feel like you're only being judged for that, and there's always someone more gorgeous, someone richer, someone thinner. So I mean, like, I think that no matter who you are, you know, when you look in the mirror, you can always look up one imperfection that you have. And I think that it's pretty toxic for men and women to look at it like, oh my God, they're either better than me or I'm better than them. So what I learned to do, honestly, is just to ask and act in spite of any fear I had. So, you know, I'm not saying I was never afraid or embarrassed, but I acted anyway. I always asked girls to go out, and yeah, a lot of times I got rejected, but you only remember when you're at a bar with your friends, guys. There's guys here in the audience, right? You don't talk about the ones that rejected you. You talk about the ones that said yes, right? So the more it's like fishing. You know, you cast your pole into the ocean 100 times, you're going to catch some fish. You cast it 5 times, you're not going to catch that many fish, right? And every once in a while, you catch some really good-looking fish, right?
You guys taking notes?
You know?
Spence is taking notes on his phone.
Yeah.
There you go.
He's like, catch fish, sometimes
Yeah.
hot.
But also, I think there's also like what you actually say to them too. And then especially I think the keys though is the first date. I think it's pretty easy to get a girl to go out with you on a date. It's always been pretty easy. And then there's certain things that like really I know turn women off, and it's probably the same things that turn guys off, right? Like seriously, it's a cliche, but when if I'm with a girl who just talks about herself and how beautiful she is, it's like gross. And a guy, if you're with a guy who thinks he's God's gift and he's not asking you questions, so I think those are pretty obvious things, but they really do matter,
Yeah, no, they do matter. Would you say that you're a fan of like the whole saying "faking it until making it"?
Yeah, I mean,
is that like the?
So yes and no. I mean, faking it, I'd call that acting as if. In other words, I say act as if, but you better be really aggressively closing the gap between what you're faking and what is reality. So, like for example, in a business setting, like I teach salespeople how to close. So yeah, you want to act like an expert. Because the only way to become an expert is to act like one and do it, right? Yeah. But you better be working really hard to close the gap. So in other words, if you're in a dating sense, if you want to be with a hot girl and you want to pretend to be this great guy or pretend to be someone that has a great sense of humor, well, you better fucking eventually get one. You can't just fake it for very long. You could fake it and then get better at it and get more confident and become what you're trying to fake. You know what I mean? You gotta close the reality
gap. They get home,
gap.
they're like, what a long day.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretending to be someone I'm not.
Yeah, exactly.
Would you say that you could make any person into a good salesperson? That you could pick any person off the street and make him into a good salesperson?
To a degree. So, I mean, I think that, there's a question of like desire. So if someone really has the desire, the answer is yes, if they don't have any sort of mental deficiency, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, of course.
But like there's some, we do a lot of recruiting of salespeople for companies. So like I say, some people have a face that's made for the telephone, Maybe they shouldn't be knocking on doors or doing in-person sales. When you're on the phone, no one can see you, right? So it's all about your voice and your tonality. In person, there are certain body types and certain types of looks that definitely give you a bit of an advantage, right?
Yeah.
So the idea is, number one, that if you want to make it easy for yourself, then, kind of put yourself in a position to succeed and do what you probably are most likely to succeed at. Don't give yourself an uphill battle. Yeah. But if you're determined to succeed at something you're not particularly matched, you can overcome it with hard work and perseverance. And that, at the end of the day, it always wins out. Hard work and perseverance. Seriously.
Yeah. Becca, are you taking notes?
Yeah, I'm taking notes.
So I have a question, Becca. You think you can sell Jordan these pair of sunglasses?
Oh my God, I knew you were gonna do something like this.
Come on, Bex. I think you can do it. I think Jordan should give you a couple pointers. Becca,
Ari, turn the lights up, okay?
Oh boy, here we go.
What should you start with, Jordan?
He's like, oh, I'm like, here you go.
There you go.
Please
that was good.
Please buy these from me. Please buy.
I'm like, is it bright in here, you guys? Turn some more lights on.
How about this? If you in reality, you want to sell someone a pair of sunglasses, the first question I would have is, so are you in the market? You interested? Do you wear sunglasses? Do you want sunglasses? If you say I don't wear sunglasses, I'm like, have a nice day. Go fuck yourself. I don't.
Like, you're not cool.
Becca, if you tell Jordan to go fuck himself.
Right. No, the thing is, as a salesperson, the biggest mistake salespeople make is they try to sell things to people who don't want them and need them. And that's not what a salesperson does. So the whole idea of when you're saying, sell me this pen or sell me these glasses, is you're trying to first see, well, does the person even want what you're selling? So you start asking them questions. If you just try to say, oh, these are the best glasses, well, you look so sexy in these, they'll make you, feel great, they're the best value, blah, blah, fucking blah. Like, I don't use glasses. So it's like, listen, it's like dating, right? It's a numbers game. So when you're dating, looking to meet a man or woman, what are you looking to do? Do you looking to try to find a man, you girls, right, that's not interested in, how about someone that's not interested in dating you, that already has a boyfriend, that already has a girlfriend, right? Or maybe that's homosexual, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what's your chances of closing that guy on going out with you?
Very low.
Very low, right?
Yeah.
So are you going to waste your time trying to convince that guy to go out with you? Or would you rather go on? In Becca's case, probably. He was a glutton for punishment, right?
No!
But no, the idea is that, what you do is you say, great, have a nice day. You're not for me. Next person, hey, how you doing? So, do you have a boyfriend?
Are you gay?
Right, you're gay. Tell me right.
Are you gay? Okay, we're on the right track.
There you go.
Dinner.
Perfect. Exactly.
So ask him.
Okay, so do you want some?
I was thinking about maybe buying some. You know what? I have sunglasses, but I lose so many glasses that I could always use another pair.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, how much do they cost? How much are they?
They're about $50.
$50.
$50, and it's been so bright outside.
Really, I know it's really bright in here.
And also, you want to protect your retinas. These are, UV protectant.
Yeah.
Not from the
How
the
about
actual
this?
side.
You know what? You know what I want you to do?
Ooh.
Put the glasses on.
Okay.
Tell me
Just
how
like
you feel.
anything,
You know what?
Jordan.
You look so
Anything you
awesome.
want,
Look at you know
okay?
how sexy you look in those glasses. They make you feel like $1,000,000. You look probably you look.
I
It's like
think
taking.
I'm gonna buy some.
There you go.
There
No,
you
it's
go.
like taking.
Jordan sold back at the pair of
Just
glasses.
convinced me
and
to buy
honestly,
my
no,
own glasses.
Can I be honest with you? They actually look great on you.
Thank you.
They really do.
Well,
Honestly,
they're her glasses.
You're making me blush.
No, they really they're perfect fit for your face. Seriously, how do they feel on you? Great.
They feel great.
You know what? Those glasses, I think they normally go for $200, but right now, no.
Just
So,
take
no,
my money. Just take it all.
Becca's Venmoing Jordan under the table for her own
I'm like,
glasses.
can I scan your code?
Yeah. Maybe you'll scan your barcode.
No, I love it. I think you could. I honestly think you could do it, Bex. I think we could send you door to door to sell Shag Mag.
Okay.
By the way, I was.
I'm like,
you want to
hey.
hear a funny story?
Yes.
I told you I was just in Texas. You know what I was doing in Texas?
What?
I swear to God, this is a true story. I was going door to door
No way.
in Texas because I have a company. We recruit salespeople, right? And it's a very, very large company in pest control, bugs and ants, right? They hired my company and they want to hire like 5,000 or 10,000 salespeople. And and my company I find them and I train them. I have not me, a big company that does this, right?
Yeah.
But if I'm gonna take a contract that big, I never would ask someone to do something that I wouldn't do myself or have done myself. And I wanted to experience it myself, what it was like to go door to door to sell pest control. So the owner and I went out as a goof, right? And we went
love
out
this.
and we were knocking on, it was so fucking hot in Texas. It was like 105 degrees.
yeah.
I was sweating my ass off, right? But the 10th door, sure enough, all right, boom, we sold this guy pest control. This guy, a really nice guy. And then, of course, I ended up giving him, he was bilingual, and I gave him a contract. So I felt bad because I took the guy. So hey, I'll give you something. How about this? So I gave the guy some.
2-for-1
Yeah,
special.
yeah. But we sold them pest control, and then all right, the next day I flew to Midland, and I went and sold solar door to door because I had another contract with a company. They wanted me to train and hire door to door people for them for solar, and I went out because I'm a big believer, guys. And you should really do this in anything that you do in life. If you want to build a company. Just never ask people to do something that you haven't done or wouldn't do yourself, because if you haven't, you can't say it with conviction, right? Now, in this case, I've sold tons of things when I was very young. I did door-to-door sales, right? But I just wanted to see, if I'm going to help train, I want to see what are people really saying about this, right? Don't ask people to do what you wouldn't do. You guys are building a company, right?
Yeah.
And you're doing a great job. Seriously, you are, right? Thank you. And you got a lot of people that work for you, they respect you, and they love you, right? And the key is to building a great company is don't ask people to do jobs that you wouldn't do yourself. You got to work harder than everybody else, be more dedicated. That's the secret to success, at least one of them.
Yeah, I love that. I love it. And I love how you probably can I love how you can literally take different things and sell them door to door. Like I'm sure you use kind of like the same
Pretty
kind
much.
of, yeah.
Well, again, and by the way, I made my son who's 25 now.
25.
He's in Texas right now. Yeah.
Does he have a girlfriend?
He has a girlfriend,
Aw,
right? But I have
man,
another
Bex.
son. I have another son. I have another 24-year-old son. Really handsome guy. No, listen, blonde, 6'1". Okay,
Bex.
great. His name's Bowen.
in love.
Really
Tell him I
handsome.
love him.
No, he's really handsome. Super handsome kid. And nicest kid ever. He's so not. By the way, he's such a nice kid. He really is such a great kid. He's any girl that gets him. He works for me. Both my kids work for me. So I made he's in marketing. My other son's in the sales and training. So I made him go door to door. So called me and goes, Dad, I was knocking on doors in the pouring rain in Texas, and it's the best feeling I ever had.
Wow, Bex.
I wish I was your guys' age to go back and do all this stuff again, because the fucking world is great, guys. I know it's fucked right now with Corona, all this idiocy with Corona bullshit, right? But you know what? It will end soon enough, and you guys got the whole world in front of you, so you're just gonna fucking kick ass, make tons of money, have fun, get laid all the time. Don't use protection. No, just kidding. But no, no, use
worry.
Use
Look at you,
protection.
Sam. Use protection.
Use
Don't-
protection. Yeah.
Sam.
No,
God.
but no, be safe, whatever, but
He's
just
like-
have fucking fun. Don't let society judge you and all this political correct insanity, which I think is destroying the world.
I call it
Seriously.
pussy culture.
Yeah, pussy. Yeah. It's cancel pussy bullshit culture.
Yeah,
right?
everyone's a little pussy,
Yeah, and it really
We're talking
is.
to you guys.
Yeah. No, there's so much fucking virtue signaling going on right now, and so much disingenuous bullshit.
Yeah.
Like do as I say, not as I do, and it's all over the place. It's not even about Democrats or Republican. It's fucking It's just like insane, and I'm not really sure what's causing it right now. But it's people like you guys. Seriously, you guys are the future, and you got to stand up against this shit. because it's toxic.
Wow.
It's not good.
So the other thing I found interesting too in your interview with us, when we asked you about your go-to pickup line, you said not to use a pickup line.
Yeah, I don't use.
But I'd love to know, like, you know, back in your crazy wild days, if you saw a girl at a bar that caught your eye, what was like your go-to move? Like, what was it? Buy her a drink? Was it let her come to you? Like, what is like your signature when it came to women?
So I was fortunate because I became very well known at a very young age. So for me, from the time I was in my early 20s, I never had to really pick up women like that. It was the truth is that it did, you know, I always had where I'd go out, I was always kind of really well known. And if I wanted to meet a girl, I was introduced by someone else. But there's still that moment, like, what do you say to someone? And it's really weird because like it's still to this day, you know, I'm trying to think. So when I met my last wife, who's amazing, by the way, you know, we're not together anymore. She's a beautiful lady, great lady, right? We broke up about a year and a half ago, right? Mm-hmm. And like she's probably the toughest sale I ever had to close was her. Like she was really tough because my book had just come out, the first book. So it was when the book came out before the movie, everyone was talking about my book, and she, you know, and our kids were on the same soccer team. Right, she was a soccer mom. Right?
There you go, Begs.
Yeah, she was a soccer mom, and like she was like running from me. You know, I had to like kind of pursue. You know, but I was with her. It was more like, you know, I was very persistent, and I said, I asked her to go out. She's like, no, I don't want to go out with you. And then she goes, but I'll meet you to ask you questions about your book. She read my book and she wanted to ask me questions. So I said, oh, fair enough. Ask me some questions, right? So we went out, and I think as she said, she thought I was going to be an asshole. But when we went out, you know, I started asking her questions about herself and pretended I was interested in her. I really was interested. No, I was really mostly looking at her ass though. But you know, and you know, and
she's like answering questions, like turned away.
Yeah, exactly. And
she gets a bend and snap.
Yeah, basically. And then
like, sorry, I dropped your book.
And that was many years ago, right? And she was very skittish. She was like a skittish cat, like trying to corral a cat, right? But ultimately, you know, with persistence and you know, and also I think girls love a great kisser, right? I think it's really important. If the first kiss is bad, you're fucked as a guy, right?
So true.
And I've heard this from so many girls, like they always say, always a good kisser or a bad kisser, right? And so I think that she liked I was a good kisser. That was like got me.
Did you kiss her after she interviewed you for your book? Was it that day?
It was at that dinner. Yeah, I got the first kiss in, and then my girlfriend now, you know how we met? She was in Guadalajara. She's from Argentina. And she was modeling in Guadalajara. I was on tour, and we met at a restaurant, and she was sitting on one side of the restaurant. I was on the other in different groups, and then we ended up in a club that was like attached to the restaurant, right? And then we were in the club, and a lot of people asked me for pictures, and then we took a picture together, right? And then like somehow I think I got her her name. And when I got back, she was really beautiful, right? And I looked at her Instagram. Fuck, she's so hot, right? Like I fell in love with her Instagram, right?
Told you
You
start
slid in
posting
the
more.
DMs.
So I DM'd her, right? And then we started DMing at night. Now she was still in Mexico. I was back in the U.S.
What was your first DM?
I forgot, but I'll tell you ready for the punchline here?
Yeah.
So we start DMing, and 5 to 6 hours a night, DMing back and forth about God knows what, right?
Yeah.
Don't even think about it. It's not the DM. She has this guy DMing her right now, Jordan.
Oh, really?
And I swear to you.
Let me play you. I'll reel him
we're
in.
in love, okay?
Yeah. No, I fell in love with this girl over DMs, right? And then here's the punchline. Ready? So I said, listen, she was in Guadalajara, and now I was going back to Mexico City to give another speech, right? And she was going to be in Mexico City at the same time. I said, hey, let's go out for dinner. She goes, I can't. I'm like, why not? She goes, I don't speak a word of English. I'm like, what the fuck? I said, what do you mean? She goes, I'm using Google Translate.
No way.
So I didn't speak a word of Spanish. She didn't speak
Don't
a word
tell
of
me you
English.
learned Spanish.
You got Rosetta Stone?
No, I memorized the dictionary. So in literally in
He wouldn't do that, Bex.
14 days, I was fluent in Spanish. I went down. So I got semi-fluent in 10 days. And then I actually I got completely fluent because we had this amazing first date. We fell in love, and like it was really heavy. And then she came to Florida. And then I had to meet her parents over. She comes from like a really, really high up family, a very respectable family, and they don't speak any English. So then I crashed it, and like within another week or so, I was fluent in Spanish. I met the family in Punta del Este. You guys know Punta del Este in Uruguay, Guys, you guys would love Punta del Este. These were all the hottest
We're
girls.
going,
No,
ladies. Pack your bags.
all the hottest girls in South America, and it's basically
Y'all
the
aren't
San
coming.
Tropez of South America. It's ridiculous, and great beaches, ridiculous women, super rich guys, and just fun parties all night long, and no pretense. It's wild.
I'm like,
Oh
all
my
right,
God.
bye,
But
guys.
yeah, we're
Yeah.
like going pack our bags.
Yeah.
So wait. You literally learned.
I did.
Give me a sentence.
¿Cómo estás? No,
I
can say.
give him your sentence
What?
that you always
What do
use.
I say?
Me gusta bailar y cantar.
You like to sing and dance, I know.
Yeah, and comer las papas fritas.
I know, like French fries. Okay, yeah.
That's all Bex knows.
Yeah. No, I really speak Spanish well. So I was actually fluent in December. Here's what happened. Then she moved back into the U.S. with me, right? And she came to stay. And I had switched all my teeth. The way I learned Spanish, I'll tell you, I memorized the top 5,000 nouns, verbs, and adjectives and adverbs, right? I read about a 5-page book on grammar, learned the conjugations, and so I memorized every photograph of memory. Then I watched movies with subtitles, and I literally became fluent. Within 2 weeks, I was fluent.
Fuck Netflix and chill. It's now learn a new language and chill.
There you go.
You have to find someone that's gonna learn a new language with you. That's the new.
You know what I call that? You know, in Spanish, you know, le poder de pussy, the power of the pussy. like I would not learn Spanish. She doesn't like what I say. I hope she don't understand this podcast, right? Anyway, but in all seriousness, like, you know, only for a woman would I learn Spanish like that. Right?
Would you learn a new language for a guy?
Depends. If I loved him, I'm like, hola.
Oh, hola, mi amor.
That's all she knows how to say. No say.
Mi amor.
No say.
¿Cómo se dice I love you?
Te amo, te amo,
Oh, te amo.
te amo.
Damn, there you
Yeah, I
go.
probably would. I mean, that's
Te amo
love
en
right there.
español, la blue tibet in Russian. So I had a Russian, oh my God, I was engaged to a Russian girl for oh my God. It was
Oh, I know.
terrible.
Ya tu bia yubiu.
Yeah, that was terrible. I didn't learn,
You speak.
I speak Hungarian.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, wow.
Fluent in
Why is
Hungarian.
that?
My mom's from Hungary. She's from Budapest.
Okay.
My dad's
How
half.
about you?
I speak pig Latin.
You speak Latin? You're just working on English still, mastering English?
Still working on. I speak douchebag
Oh,
pretty easy. I mean, pretty fluently.
All right, so I have this theory with my guys. I know all the guys think this. There's nothing better than being a gorgeous girl in this world. Like, there's gotta be, right? To be a gorgeous woman is like a great thing, I would think. How is it? Like, tell me what it's like to be like the guys like buy shit for you and like, do you get like freebies? Or is it like it's in some way, it's its own cross to bear where, yeah, you're beautiful, but you still feel all the same pressures and insecurities and longings and lacks and highs and lows that everyone else does. What is it like to be beautiful as girls?
I mean, to me, honestly, I think you almost feel the pressure more because you feel like you have a certain standard you have to uphold, especially if people meet you in person. Mm-hmm. I think you have like, people already have an idea of and expect something out of you. And maybe it's not even like the best thing. I mean, you look at certain content, you know, I put out and I feel like people already have kind of the stigma around me. So I think there's the pressure to break through those stigmas and kind of prove that, you know, I'm not just a pretty face. I run a business. I am more than just what's on the outside, I think is where the pressure really gets put on me.
And does that pressure, you think it's put on you, or does it come in from yourself, you think? Like
yeah, definitely. I definitely think just like when it comes to, you don't want to be, you know, in social media, I say it's what I do, it's not who I am. And I think I put a lot of pressure on myself not to just be a pretty face. You know, looks can only get you so far and they only last so long. So I think unless you're more than that, then, you know, your future's, it's not that bright.
look at it this way. So people used to say that about, you know, Kim Kardashian, like, oh, I mean, who's saying that now? She's a fucking brand. She's, you know, wealthy and, you know, you could hate her a little, but she's respected. And, you know, you just remember this, you know, people that are lazy fucks love to point the finger and put labels on other people, but you're doing it. Yeah. You guys are doing it. You know, you're actually doing something amazing. You have built a business. There's 1 million pretty women in the world. How many have their own podcast, have a magazine? You know, success, you know, so it drives me fucking crazy when people look and judge because, you know, listen, you know, you're using an asset that you have, but you know what? Without the brains behind it, you would be nothing. You just remember that. So whatever anyone says to you, it's just bullshit. It's not true.
Yeah, and a lot of people say, I feel like, oh yeah, it's easy, like it's not that big of a deal, and then
Really, then why aren't they fucking doing it?
exactly. I know that's what Julia always says. Like, just try to do it. Try to do it.
I do have to ask you.
Sure.
You don't have to answer it. I
I'll answer
would
it.
really want to know your craziest one night stand story.
Oh my God, is it the craziest night I've ever had, or the craziest
Craziest
with a woman?
craziest with a woman. Crazy. I mean, it doesn't even really have to be a one night stand. Just maybe even like the craziest place you've had sex. Just like give me something that gets us going. Beck needs to know.
It gets us fired up.
I think Beck was most looking forward to this question.
The craziest place I've ever had sex. Well, I mean, I've done, obviously, so, I've done the whole up in the air mile.
So you are a Mile High Club. Are you part of the Mile High Club?
No, I'm not.
That's like shit's old. That's old actor. Like we did that back when I was in my
I'm part
I'm
of the
like
Mile
in
High Club.
economy.
economy, yeah.
It's like the bathroom's like this small.
Bex is like rubbing. I'm like, come on.
I think that, I'm not going to say who I did this. Okay.
Okay, and you don't need to say who.
I did the Mile High Club in first class cabin in the seat, like while we were while we were flying with other people in the first
How do you
class.
pull this off?
Because it was so
Wait, just openly, or were you guys sneaky about it?
openly. No, with covers, like a cover over us.
Was it
but
like
she
a
sat
red
on my
light or
lap.
red light or-
No, she was sat on my lap, and I had sex right in the plane. I'm not gonna say which wife it was with. Okay.
Wait, how many wives have you had?
Well, I've had like 3 real wives. Okay, and 4. The last one we weren't formally married. We were married, so it's 3 plus 1 almost wife.
Almost
the
wife.
Russian. She was actually the first and last Miss Soviet Union. She won the contest, Miss Soviet Union, back in 1990, and then the country broke up. So she was the first and the last. She was a piece of work, right? Yulia. Yeah, she didn't think we landed on the moon. She said, this is hoax. We're embarrassed, Mother Russia. Anyway, but Yulia was gorgeous, tough as fucking nails. She kicked my ass, right? She was like KGB material or something,
Holy shit.
But no, but in this plane, actually, we had sex, and pretty like serious sex, like with like covers, like 2 covers, whatever, right? And then as actually, I shouldn't say this, they'll probably bar me from the airline, but fuck, I don't really fly commercial much. So Singapore Airlines, if you go on Singapore Airlines, you can get a suite. So if you get a suite for like $30,000 to go from here to Singapore, and like it's the 2 middle cabins, and it's actually closed off, and it turns into a double bed. So I'm sure. I assume it's that saying you're supposed to have sex.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
it's like, I think it's like
Definitely
Yeah, there's
you know,
no
like
way
they're
you're
saying,
in
like,
there
if you
drinking
don't,
tea.
shame on fucking you, right? So yeah, so that's probably an interesting place. I mean,
I'd love it. Beck, if you ever saw anyone having sex next to you, you'd be that person that's like, you're doing great. Do you guys
like, I'll keep watch.
I once had sex. I had
Someone's coming.
I had
Hurry.
sex while I was
Someone's coming and it's not just you.
scuba diving at like 50 feet.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Jordan, how?
I used to love scuba diving. Yeah, I went scuba diving and had sex, and yeah, it was with a hooker actually. But and
Wait, how do you have I've been scuba
What,
diving.
the
and I
pressure's
can't
too
even
high?
He's like, I love scuba diving and I love sex. Let's
Yeah.
do it together. Let's bring it in.
I used to have, before my yacht sank, I used to have we used to take these wild trips. And we used to take the boat from, like, at certain points it was in Florida. So we'd go from Florida to Bimini, and from Bimini to like Freeport. And it was awful. It was awfully great, by the way. But, this was back in the day when you could do this shit. No one had cell phones with cameras.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
You just couldn't. It's like a different world now.
Now you definitely would end up like
No, you-
trending on
you
Twitter.
couldn't do
100%.
that.
Daily Mail.
And I remember there was one, we had it was like 50 like brokers, we called them Stratonites, and then like 40 hookers. And we, I think it was 1995. Wow, were you guys even born yet? Or
Yeah,
no?
I was 2.
Yeah, you're 2, okay, so yeah. So one of my partner's daughters was, right? So anyway, and we had all these girls, we went absolutely wild, like on the way from, I think it was from Fort Lauderdale to Bimini. There's these 2 little islands, Bimini and Cat Cay, that are next to each other, like off the coast, maybe 10 miles off the coast of Florida, right? And it got so disgusting and decadent on the boat. Like, it was like so bad that like
The guys are like,
we're
count.
like, we have to get the hookers off the boat. We have to. Like, we can't. So we literally, we actually straight.
No, there is
put them
not an
off.
island
We
with
got the-
hookers on it right now.
No, we sent helicopters. We took the hookers, we put them in a dinghy and put them off on Cat Cay. And then we watched as the boat, there were like tears in their eyes. We give it like a case of water, right? We're like, bye. And like, we sent some helicopters to pick them up, you know? The sick part was we flew them back 2 days later to Freeport.
Oh, and they're like, they're down.
They were still down. They're like, yeah, they can't.
My God.
Yep. Yeah.
So with all these hookers, I'm sure you have one of these. I'm genuinely curious. This was one of the things I want to know. What is one of the dirtiest things that a girl has said to you in bed or during sex that kind of like, you're like,
That
damn.
turn you on.
Becca wants to
Turn
use
me
it
on?
tonight. Yeah. I mean, you can do both. If there's one that maybe didn't turn you on, but you just want to say it, by all means, please just say it.
Oh my God, I can't say this because
Yes, you can.
Well, I'll tell
What's
you.
her name? Change the channel.
I'll tell you. Probably, ass to mouth sort of stuff, like a girl that was doing that shit, then wanted to kiss me afterwards. Like, get the fuck.
That was literally the dirtiest.
Like
Her
that.
mouth was dirty.
Like that sort of stuff, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is a long time ago, guys. I'm like really, so I'm kind of calm now, I have a wonderful girl in my life, and a great ex-wife who's a good friend. I'm lucky, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But this is back in my
back.
And by the way, just and I think, like I always say, there's things that you do in your 20s that are totally fucking cool and correct that you would never do in your 40s and your 50s, right? So I'm not upset about anything I did. I'm not even embarrassed about it at all.
Yeah.
The only thing I'd be sorry about is if I said something that hurt someone I loved. I don't give a shit about myself. Like, if I ever pause for a moment, it's not because I care about how, it's not hurting me. It's I think about, is there someone else that I love and care about that will be hurt by what I say? That's why sometimes I stop. It's never because I care. I don't care what anyone thinks of me at this point,
Yeah, no, I feel that. Do you think, this is the other question I feel like the gentleman would want to know, and if you can't answer this, by all means, but was there ever a go-to move, like back in your wild days, with all these women, coming for you, if there's a girl that you really wanted to impress, did you have a go-to sex move that you knew would just...
It's so terribly cliche, but it's like, you guys are going to, ready? Just the tip. You know how many times I said that and it fucking worked?
What?
Just the tip.
You just tell them just the tip, and then
They don't want to upset. Just the tip.
Oh, look, they've
don't
all
wanna
used it. You've used it.
Has anyone used that here? Just the tip?
Come on, guys, raise your hand if you've used it.
It's masterful. It works really well. Just the tip. Another saying is, I'll admit, I've never worn a condom during sex.
Never?
No. And I never caught anything either. It's amazing, right?
Knock on wood.
Yeah, it's like viruses and shit they're scared of me, right? Anyway, but I used to...
But just the tip, that doesn't really like impress her. Like, what is something that maybe you would do?
Well, no, that was my way in though. Like, come on, no, just a tip.
That was your sales pitch.
Yeah.
Door to door, just the tip.
Exactly.
Listen,
Just a tip.
just let me
What's
in.
the worst that could happen?
just let me in a little.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
one step. Come on.
It's like putting your foot in the door, putting your tip
He's
inside.
like, just one toe.
Yeah. Okay, what's the other side you want to know?
Like if there was a girl you took home and you're like, damn, I want to impress this girl in bed.
Oh, oral sex.
Oral?
Like masterful oral sex.
Like,
which is a gift to me, by the way. I mean, I like it more than they do. So it's like,
Really?
Oh, yeah. And the older you get, guys, the more you like it. Just trust me. It's like the older you get, it's like almost like I'd rather do that after a while. Because you come to appreciate the female, like for what the guys, like, here's what I get. I don't understand. I wish I was gay. Because I fucking get along so well with guys. I'd love to be able to play tennis with a friend and fuck them afterwards. But I'm just not like that. I just don't know. I think it's a gift to be gay, seriously, because I can fuck all my friends and I get along really well with guys.
Me and Becca say the same
But
thing.
I don't. But I just don't have those feelings, right? And it would be a gift to have those, so I don't. But the point is, like with girl, I don't see it. Like to me, it's gross and disgusting. I can understand two girls together makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah.
Because they're beautiful. It's a whole thing, but I don't get it. That's
We need the dick.
Yeah, I get it.
I know. She's always like, I'll fuck you. I'm like, you don't get it. You just don't get it.
Same.
It's not the same.
But you would say oral.
But no, I had a gay assistant for a while, and this guy had a fucking maid. This guy would get, like, we'd go somewhere, we'd like go to like, Czech Republic or something, and like, he's like in the coat closet. How'd you do that? It's like, I'm like, wow. It's like, there's like a special like freaking thing he does. I don't know. It's like, it's a gift, though, seriously, but not for me. You know?
What would you do specifically like during oral that would like, because I feel like
specific moves.
Because I'm telling you, Jordan, there's a lot of guys out there that don't know what they're doing with oral.
I'm trying to Okay, it's a true story. Oh my God.
We're getting it out of him, Bex. It's what we wanted.
Bring it, baby.
My ex-wife will love this story, and because I actually took her to meet the girl that taught me how to give oral sex to her. It was when I was in college, my first year. I was a freshman in college, right? And I didn't know anything about anything. And I met this girl. She was she was like a junior, right? And like she wanted, like, you know, we were fooling around and she wanted me to go down on her. And like, how would you, this is like remember, there was no internet.
Yeah.
Like if you saw a girl's anatomy, it was like a glimpse in a Playboy, or you didn't know what
Shag
was
man.
what or where was what or how to do anything. No one knew this stuff right then. So I just assume if you want to make a girl come, you gotta ram it in your finger inside or anything. And I'm like,
Jordan, the internet exists and guys still
they still right, yeah.
That's why Shag Mag
all the
exists.
girls are like, well, guys, shame on fucking you because it's all out there right now. But I didn't know that, and I was like thinking like I had to like really. Like I don't know what I was thinking, right? But this girl taught me like that she loved getting eaten out, and like I would do it for like a long time back then. It seemed like a long time, you know. And I was trained well in that, you know. And then I actually introduced my about 7-8 years ago my current wife to the girl. We went out like we were still friends, and that was where I learned. So the move is just I think to focus on, you know. Okay, it's intuitive, right?
Yeah.
It's obvious. You start off slow.
You think it's obvious,
you know,
but it's not.
No, and if you do, and also if you do it too fast or if you stay in one spot, it
gets
actually
spicy.
it gets
That's what I call
it gets
spicy.
it's not comfortable. And also you have to remember every girl's different. Some girls like just once and they're done. Other girls it can go again and again if you just rest for a few seconds, and then it's like I've trust me I've
Bex is like a 4-round. She's like, it's a boxing match with Bex. She's like, baby, we're going.
I'm like, okay, 1 down,
But there's
3 to go.
There's something that didn't really exist much when I was around, you know, and this whole phenomenon came out after, this whole squirting thing. Like it didn't exist back when I was, out there playing the game.
Yeah.
Never heard of it. It never really happened much. And then you started seeing it like in the, I didn't, were you raising your hand or no? Squirter? You a squirter?
She's like,
We got a squirter in the building.
Like,
Put your hands in the air.
I'm invisible. I didn't raise my hand. I swear. I was scratching
She's
my
like,
eye.
it was just.
Yeah, that's like we call a tell. Like he's like, oh no, No, but it's interesting. Here's the thing. But I gotta say though, the one thing I think is terrible about the internet, is that it gives people, young people, an unrealistic sort of view of what really sex is about, and also like it leaves nothing to the imagination, which is good in some respects and bad in others. Like it used to be like porn was like this thing. Either you went to a theater, and then even like when it came out like on videotape, it was a bit more there, but still you kind of like it was mainstream. Now like okay, I want to watch a donkey, a horse, and a giraffe with 2 men and a midget. No, yeah, there's 5,000 videos.
Literally.
And it's unbelievable.
And you could watch it anywhere. You could literally watch it at the grocery store, like in your hand if you wanted to.
Right. Is
And
that
no
what-
one would know.
Aha. That's
Becca's
right.
done
You don't even have to.
Becca's favorite is actually donkey porn.
Yeah.
Shut
Donkey
up.
porn,
Oh
yeah.
my God.
Yeah,
She really likes asses.
that's it. Donkey asses.
I love it. I
No,
love
but
it.
seriously, so it's like I think some guys it almost like
Desensitized.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, desensitize them and also gives them an unrealistic I will tell you, there's nothing better in the world than making love slowly to a woman that you love. Just slow love making to someone that you really love, and that's better than any of the crazy shit that you see. I'll take it any day of the week.
I do have so with the hookers, you don't have to answer this again, but what is the most you've ever paid for a hooker?
In cash or casino chips,
Both.
there's a difference.
There is?
Yeah.
Well, wait, isn't
Casino
casino
chips
chips
don't
cash?
Well, but you don't think of them as cash. Probably in chips, I probably have paid $50,000 in chips.
Shit.
Wow.
Good, and just like it's like toy money when
Yeah.
Most in I think probably 20 maybe $20,000. I think
Yeah, we have a friend who's like I don't want to out him, but like,
But let's out of it anyway.
yeah, he's like a huge fan of hookers and literally like his crazy stories. He's literally like, I'm like, what's the most? He's like, I won't pay more than $5,000 for a hooker. So I was just curious.
Or
He's
wasn't
like,
it 10?
Was it 10 or 5? I
I
don't
think
know.
it was 10. He was like,
He was like, there was one I paid $50 and I don't even know if it was a girl or a guy. Yeah.
Well, you know, the whole thing about hookers, you know, you don't pay hookers to have sex with you. You pay them to leave afterwards.
Oh my God.
No, I say, you know, it's really sad because nowadays, I guess it's what do you do? I got really lucky. I got locked down with my girlfriend. You know, when Corona hit, she was there and we got locked down together, which was amazing. But what do you guys do when you're like single? Like, how do you hook up? Is it like, how does that work now?
What do you mean?
How do you do that? So seriously, like, do you go on? Is it like online like dating sites? People just come. Is that what happens?
yeah.
I wouldn't say online, especially not during lockdown. I mean, Ari.
People still go out. That's the problem.
Yeah, people still go out.
Where do you go out now? People's houses?
They go to the
house
bar.
parties?
You
House
know,
parties,
Yeah,
yeah.
the house parties are back
Some
in.
restaurants.
especially here in LA. It's just horrible. Just a cesspool, you know.
It is. Everyone sleeps with everyone.
Really?
Yeah.
So yeah, if anything, people want to fuck like even more because
Really?
they're like,
bored.
don't fuck. Everyone's like, I want to fuck.
This is true.
When she says everyone, she means her.
Everyone. Yeah.
No, come on.
Me,
Can
myself,
I get
and
a
I,
yes?
What?
Let me ask you girls a question.
Yeah.
So when you are looking for a guy, what are the qualities that you look for?
Bex, you want to?
Funny. I love funny guys.
Yeah. If
Yeah.
you make Becca laugh, you're in, which is almost, it's a good and bad thing.
Hey, okay, that's not it. Not just funny, but
Name
funny
one
is a
more
huge,
thing. A mustache. She's a
mustache.
big fan of mustache.
I guess for the oral sex part, right? Tickles you?
Is that why, Bex?
Tickles me.
No, I honestly don't really like mustaches. I like mustaches if they do it as a joke, like if it's funny.
So
Yeah.
she
Okay,
just.
funny. How about you?
I think someone who's very driven.
Driven?
Because
Okay.
I mean, obviously, I have to have charming. I have to have someone, but someone that keeps me on my toes. I get bored, not bored easily, but I think I just like someone who keeps it. You never know what you're gonna get in a good way. Because I've dated the you never know what you're gonna get in a bad way, and it's still attractive. But I think with me, it's like the spontaneous. Let's go do this. It's like that little kid energy of
Sure.
like
How about physical? How important is physical attraction to you?
so important.
Very important.
Yeah,
Right?
I have to be.
Right.
I think like that's what I think when it comes to physical attraction, I think that's what draws me in, and then emotional attraction is what keeps me there. But without that, I have to have some sort of attraction. I feel like you're the same way. I feel like physical attraction is like pretty.
Yeah, well, me too. I mean,
Definitely.
I'm
I mean,
I'm about as
honestly-
deep as a puddle when it comes to physical attraction.
Yeah,
I really need to be attracted to someone. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like when you first like meet someone, let's say like if you meet them through mutual friends, sometimes you're not off the bat kind of like into them, like, oh, like they're hot, but you kind of see their personality and then they get hotter as it goes on. But I'm not gonna like approach someone that I don't really like, I'm not physically attracted to at first. So I feel like
What do you think
is
it
kind of
physically attracts you to a girl?
Thin ankles. I
What?
hate fat ankles. Like cankles. Everyone's going. No, you girls,
All the
you,
girls are
all the
pointing
girls
at
have
each
fine
other.
ankles.
Oh.
I
Everyone's picking their socks up right now.
no, like I mean, I'm talking. I have a thing for fat. Like people have cankles. I fucking freaks me out. I have a panic attack. Right. So, but listen, though, I'll tell you. Ready? I have, I a beautiful, beautiful face. I love a beauty, and I love a great ass and legs. Breasts not that important to me. No, I mean, I like. No, I don't want flat, but I mean, no, it's not like my big thing though is a beautiful ass and legs. And then a girl, and then of course like that. So I would never be with a girl who I didn't think was gorgeous. That doesn't mean that they're gorgeous. I think they're gorgeous. So beauty truly is in the eye of the beholder, right?
Agreed.
So my girlfriend would kid around. She goes, would you love me if I got fat? No fucking way. I would like throw
At
you to
least
the
he's
curb.
on-
No,
guys,
I would throw you to the curb
I'd
in
much
2
rather
fucking
that.
seconds. Because no, honestly, AIDS, if I said I would be lying.
Yeah.
And also, it would show a lack of respect for me in the same way when I let myself get fat and out of shape.
Yeah.
In other words, I keep myself as a respect to the other, myself and to the person I'm with. But I think that's it's one of the problems sometimes in marriages as they progress is that people let themselves go physically.
Yeah.
They get comfortable.
Yeah, and I don't think that's fair. And I think once you do that, I think it sets the stage for a lot of other things. So to me, physical is extremely important, but it's not just that. Because I would never be with someone that wasn't
But you can't talk to
sweet and nice that I could talk to. And I think the thing to me, it's sweet. Sweet. I love girls. I don't like some guys like bitchy girls. I do not like bitchy girls. I like girls who are sweet. and feminine and thin ankles.
Sam's shaking her head over there. She's like, fuck.
No, your ankles are fine.
He
No,
says
no.
you're fine.
I'm
You're
talking
fine.
about I'm talking about like when like there's ankle and there's no difference between like the calf. No, you're a calf.
You're good, Sam. You're
No,
good.
you have nice calves. You have muscular. Nice
Yeah.
calves. That's fine. I'm talking about the ankles. The ankles. That's
got
like
hot
no.
ankles. Okay.
Everyone's checking their ankles right
Yeah.
now.
But everyone who knows me makes fun of that fact that I love thin ankles
love
and
that.
girls. Yeah, it's the ankle test. You know.
The ankle test.
You like anklets then, don't
People,
you?
yeah. People say that I like blondes, but that's not. I think it's coincidental. Like those, I've married a few girls that mostly were blonde.
But it's the ankles.
But no, it's not. Like, it doesn't really matter because someone could dye their hair blonde.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
True.
That's the
You can't
difference.
cut off your ankles.
Sweet. You know what? And intelligent.
Yeah.
I think that stupid people. I always say I'm a racist. I have two races of people that I hate. I'm very racist. You know what? I hate lazy people and stupid people. Everyone else I love equal. I don't care about your skin color or what you. I hate lazy and stupid. Those are my two races of people that I hate. You know,
I feel that.
right?
Becca, you gotta go.
Becca, I want. Go on. So Becca,
I'm kidding. I love you. I
bet
was talking
you-
about the lazy. I wasn't talking about the stupid.
what's the longest relationship that each of you have been in?
3.5 years.
Okay.
Mine's been about 2 years,
years?
almost 3 years. Yeah. What's the longest relationship you've been in?
12.
12 years. How do you separate after 12 years with someone?
Very painfully.
Yeah. I can only imagine. 2 years was
painfully.
painful.
My last wife, very painful separation, and it was just one of those things where we just grew apart, you know. And
I feel like that's the most painful when something like doesn't happen and
Yeah.
you just have to be like,
terrible. That was really, really sad because I still loved her and she loved me, but it just wasn't working. And you know, you weren't making each other happy. And and you start saying to yourself, God, if I keep going, I could burn 10 more years like that. And as you get older, you're like, that's a lot of time, right?
Yeah.
So I think the biggest mistake people get into, and one thing I could tell you, that is give you a warning, is that don't stay with someone because of you're scared to be alone.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest. I've made that mistake myself.
yeah.
Like where I didn't want to be alone, not because I'm insecure. I just didn't want to be alone. It's not always insecurity. To this day, I hate to be alone. I hate it. I'm alone, right? My girlfriend got, she's out of the country now. She has to get back in, which is no simple thing now, right? But I don't like being alone, but I would never again get myself, because it's very easy to get into relationships and sometimes not so easy to get out,
I feel that.
right?
I
So
feel
when you had your longest, why'd you guys break up? What was it?
Same kind
Same
of,
thing, just
yeah.
grew apart. How about you?
Well, we dated throughout like the end of high school and like into college and stuff. So I just feel like we were like young, and
Got it.
honestly, we were just kind of, we still like loved each other and like we're still friends like to this day. But you just gotta
Mine,
we had
the
to
business came first, it's like,
have
put
experiences.
the business first, gotta do what you gotta do. I think that's what it comes down to.
Do you girls wanna? So is it like now when do you want to get married? And so is that the thing to do these days?
No.
No. Ever? Never.
I
I can't say never, but at the time, I always say I'm marrying Shag Mag.
Yeah.
That's-
not right
like
now,
that.
but I still want to get married.
So tell me, what's the goal with Shag?
Wait, okay,
What?
Jordan, I'm interviewing you, Jordan. The goal, but I will answer.
I find you girls intriguing. Young
love that.
entrepreneurs.
I love it. I mean, I can say the goal of Shag Mag, 5 years, I'm here to replace the bunny. That's like my goal. I'm here. I think Playboy had a name for itself back when he was around, and I think he did a great job. But I think right now we need a platform where cancel culture doesn't exist, but a platform where women can come, feel empowered, feel sexy, shoot really sexy content, be in control of it, and a place where guys can come too, kind of like the man cave, where they can read about sex, sports, dating, get advice from girls, get advice like this that they need, and
Right.
see hot women. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think it exists these days, and for me, it's like, why not build it? That's like the end goal.
You same way, same.
What's up, Max?
That's it. Well, that's what she said.
That's what she
She
said.
said.
I do want to know if there's one night that you could go back and relive. What's the one night you would pick?
Wow. Good and bad. So if I could probably take back one night, it would be the night my yacht sank. I took my yacht out and got caught in the storm, and that was insane. But
Were you scared?
I was too high to be scared. I was really. I mean, the reason the movie is inaccurate in that part. Like it says, I took the yacht out because I was trying to get to Switzerland because my aunt died. That was true, but not. My aunt died, and I needed to get to Switzerland. But that's not why I took the yacht. I took the yacht out because I was really high, like on Quaaludes, and I was on Ludes and Coke, and I ended up getting like this in this phase where I had to move. I wanted to move, and when I flew into Rome, and the boat was in the port there, and there was a storm, and when we got to the harbor, the captain's like, there's waves in the harbor, and I'm like, can we make the crossing? He's like, well, it's gonna be tough, and I'm like, Captain Monk, I gotta fucking go. I gotta move. I can't sit still. And I used my powers of salesmanship to convince the captain to take the boat out into a storm, which turned into like a hurricane, basically. And it was this freak gale, 4.7 gale, and 50-foot waves. And I found myself with my wife and my friends, like we were all on the boat, and it was like this. It was very close to dying. We were very close, yeah. And because the boat flipped over, it was fucking crazy, right? But if there's one that I could probably live over again.
But wait, why would you relive that one?
No, I would relive it to do it differently.
To do it differently?
Yeah, to do it differently.
You wouldn't get on the boat?
I probably would have stayed in the harbor. Yeah.
But you don't think going through that didn't teach you like anything?
No.
No? Well,
Like,
people
I want my boat back.
say like close to
fucking
death
learn.
experiences teach you to appreciate life.
I've been closer to death than that,
Yeah.
I overdosed a couple times, and
Yeah.
I've done a lot of crazy stuff over the years. In a good way, see, the one night I could live over again. Wow, I've never really been asked that, but it's a good question. I would think that. Oh, I know what it would be. The night that I invented the straight line system. That I teach a system of sales that's changed like millions of kids' lives. Like all these kids use this system I created of how you teach someone to sell. And it's a very, like, it's actually a system, like it's a thing I invented and had this like thought one night. And I remember I was standing in front of it was small, I had a small firm, it was 12 kids. It was before you guys were born. And I was struggling to get these kids to close. And I had this idea about a different way to sell. And an idea popped in my head. And over the next 4 hours, I invented a system that's probably created, 10,000 million and more, a million,
in 4
so
hours.
many. And the system came to define my entire life. Everything that happened was from that moment on, because that was what caused my firm to grow so fast, and that's what caused everything. And then, so my entire life was defined by that moment.
Did something specific spark it, or did it?
Yeah.
What sparked it?
What sparked it was I stumbled upon this niche in the market, which was selling $5 stocks to the richest 1%, and I was doing it and making a fortune myself. I had trained one guy, the Jonah Hill character, Danny. I trained him to do it. He was doing well, and I had these 12 kids working for me. And when I tried to train them, they couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So I had this. We're calling the same people and pitching the same stock, using the same script. And for some reason, I was able to close the sale. Danny wasn't. I had taught Danny, and these other kids, 12, couldn't. And I knew if I could teach them how, I'd make $1 billion.
Yeah.
It was $1 billion idea, and it was like just freaking me out. So for a month, I was trying everything, and then it was like, things happen. Is it inspiration? This was desperation, right? And it was like they say necessity is the mother of invention. I needed to come up with a different way to teach kids how to become expert closers. And this idea of like, all of a sudden I realized what I was doing, what made me so great at sales. And I was able to just, in this one moment, this idea of a straight line, using it as a context for, there's an open, there's a close, and this is what you do. And there was like a sort of a way you line things up. And the next day, the kids went from not being able to close to becoming the top closers in the world. And then thousands of kids came to work for me, and I made hundreds of millions of dollars. And then I fucked it up because I smuggled money to Switzerland and did massive amounts of drugs. But then that turned into a movie with Leonardo DiCaprio,
Who can
So
complain about
everything stemmed from that one idea I had. And then I just pressed and pressed and pressed. And even to this day, my business today, where the largest companies in the world, retain my company to find them salespeople. So what I do is basically my business is based on not training salespeople. I actually recruit them for companies. So companies say, I want to hire 1,000 people or 100 people, big ones, small ones. And then I'll go out and find, I have 170 recruiters that work for me. We go out and scour and we look for the right people. And then we train them using this. So I train them using it, and then I deliver them already trained. That's
Like
my
puppies.
business. Yeah, exactly, like that little puppy,
training
right?
camp.
And you know what? And here's the thing: it changes kids' lives. So when I say kids, I mean kids in their 20s and 30s.
Yeah.
It changes their lives because they learn a skill that for the rest of their lives will allow them to A, get rich, B, get laid. Because if you can't close the fucking deal, good luck trying to get laid, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, right? It's the single most important skill in any. It's, if you don't want to call it selling, call it human communication. The ability to express yourself, your value as a person. Why would someone want to talk to you? how to get someone to engage in those first few seconds that are all important in any conversation, how to negotiate. So it's a life-changing skill I teach people, and that's awesome. And it's like my own high these days is doing that.
Doing that. How did you balance back in the day? How did you balance partying and working as hard as you do? Because I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs are like big, like you keep your head down, you're in the office, but I feel like you were both a super big partier, but also a super hard worker.
We had a saying, if you want to go out with the boys, you got to wake up with the men.
Okay.
And that was the saying. So we literally, it was a rule. We would, I don't know how I did it, by the way, right? Because like, it's crazy because we would go out literally 6 nights a week, like fucking rock stars.
Yeah.
It was like, I think Sunday was like a rest day, maybe, right? And we would go
Sunday scaries.
absolutely wild every single night and just partying into the city. And then we wake up at 6 a.m. back in the office, sleeping 3 hours a night. And then it worked great. So, drugs are funny. It's like, it starts off okay and then it creeps on you and creeps on you. And then by the time, I would say after like 3 or 4 years of that, it became really very destructive. And, the gamble was massive gambling involved too.
Yeah.
We used to gamble millions of dollars a night in casinos. We'd go there and win or lose millions in one night. And I had a few people that blew out. Like they lost like $40 million over like 3. Yeah, it was big.
Can you imagine coming home?
Yeah.
It's 40 million.
Yeah, I got, I had at my bachelor party in Vegas, like, people are still missing 20 years later, right? It was really evil, but we did it for a long time.
He said that so casually. He's like, yeah, people
Have
are
you seen
still-
Bobby? Nah, Bobby has never came out of Vegas,
Bobby, if you're listening, we're looking for you.
We're looking for you still. Your wife is calling, still calling my ex-wife, But, no, and that it was just understood that, like, if you, we used to say, like, if you're not making, $500,000 your first year, you're suspect.
Yeah.
You're fucking suspect. It was all about, like, you got to be an earner. If you weren't an earner, if you weren't a hard worker, get the fuck out. Like, do anything else could be excused. You could be a bit of an asshole. When you got into that office, it was business. And if you didn't show up for work on time, you got fired. So there was a certain level.
Can you say that? Can you say that one more time?
Hey,
She lives here and she's late.
You said, by the way, you said the word. You called it standards.
Standards.
You said that you have a high standard, right? Well, guess what? That at the end of the day, it's about standards. It's the standard that you hold yourself to. Like for me, it's impossible for me to live a life and not be successful because I won't stop working until I achieve a certain level of success. And then, what your standard is. Everyone's got a different standard, and there's no right or wrong answer. It's just, what's your vision for your future? What do you want? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? You guys obviously have a very bold vision. You have this really great, awesome vision, which you're passionate about, and it's great. And obviously you want to do the work to make that happen. There's a lot of people out there, they'll talk about things. Oh, I got this vision. They won't fucking do it because their standard, they can't get themselves to do the things that they know they have to do. And this is, by the way, a huge part for you guys as young people. There's one thing that you need to succeed is you have to train yourself to do the things you know you have to do, even when you don't feel like doing them. Like, it's easy to do the stuff you love, but it's about getting yourself to do the shit you don't like every single day.
Yeah. Girls, you listening?
Yeah, no, that's it. That's the secret. It's so much of a secret.
No, I love
because,
it.
easy.
But when you party till 4 a.m., how the fuck do you wake up at 6 a.m. and fucking do it? I just like...
sheer drive and, cocaine, but I don't want to...
Becca.
There's better... listen, listen, now you have Adderall, you have Modafinil.
Yeah.
I love Adderall.
Yeah,
Becca.
you guys take...
Bleep it.
How about... You guys do Provigil at all?
I do.
Do what?
Provigil.
What's that?
Oh, it's better than Adderall. So Provigil is
There you go.
prescription. It's medicinal. Yeah, medicinal. So 200 milligrams of medicinal. I love that. I take it every single day for like 20 years. No, 12,
Sign
12
me
years.
the fuck
No,
up.
it's great. It's great.
Yeah.
It's no jitters and
I'm gonna be putting that in Becca's waters every day.
yeah, it's a smart drug. It's really cool. It's really cool. So,
All right.
but in the back of the day, it was just you would you'd be surprised what you can get yourself to do. If you train yourself, like you train yourself, your brain is far more powerful than you think it is. And, you get yourself into the habit of just saying, hey, this is who I am. It becomes your identity. Mm-hmm. My identity was, I see that, like, if there's a gift I've given my son lately, it's like his identity has become being a hard worker. Like, he views himself as that. And once your identity becomes something, it's almost like an insurance policy for your own success because it becomes who you are,
God, I love that. I love that. You have any questions, Bex? I know you got something burning in you.
Honestly,
Must be sexual.
You want to ask him one.
Come on, let's hear it.
Who?
I don't know.
I know you want to do it.
I'm like, I just have one question. Who's Venice? Who is she?
I'm surprised. So someone did reach out to me about, I think 7 or 8 years ago, claiming to be Venice the hooker.
No way.
Yeah.
I love it.
And
Only one? I'm surprised.
One. And I'm not sure. It was interesting because I always thought Venice would reach out to us because Venice was a cool hooker.
So Venice is real.
Venice is real.
She's not a normal hooker. She's a cool hooker.
Venice was like, no, it was a couple. There was one hooker named Sammy. One, I still remember their names. Some of them. Like there was regulars. Like there were regular. There was girls. We called them Gina girls. You know, so we classified hookers like stocks. We did. We had the best hookers were called blue chips, and then you had like the ones beneath that. They were like fallen blue chips. They were too old. You know, they fell down from that blue chip status, or they were never hot enough to retain blue chip status. They were called the NASDAQs, you know. And then we had the pink sheet hookers, were the lowest, like streetwalkers. Had, you know, the face of a sheepdog and the shoulders of an NFL linebacker, basically, right? We fucked them too, okay, for good measure, right?
They're not biased.
When you wanted to punish yourself, you went with one of those, right? You know. And there was something good about that in some way. But anyway, Venice was a blue chip, and she worked for a woman named Gina, who was a madam at a townhouse on like I think it was 78th or 81st Street in Manhattan. It was an apartment. It started off as a townhouse, and it became an apartment. And you know, you go to the Gina girls, and you know, just it was always like 4 or 5 Gina girls hanging out in the house, and you could call. They just go anywhere. And hey, meet us in Vegas, meet us in Atlantic City. Come on the boat, and the Gina girls would go anywhere. And then the Gina girls had friends everywhere. So like, on my bachelor party, we like flew in Gina girls. They hooked up with girls in Vegas. It was just crazy, you know, nuts. So
I love it.
Venice was a Gina girl.
A Gina girl. A Gina
love
girl.
that.
It kind of goes along. So we have this segment. It's called our Word of the Day, Shag Mag Word of the Day, which is called Shword of the Day. We normally make Becca guess it. If you think you have an idea, feel free to chime in. Our Shword of the Day is called Twitter Bang.
Twitter bang.
Twitter Bang.
Is that like sexting through the DMs?
No.
Okay.
You got this. Think about it.
I don't know.
Come
Jordan,
on.
do
Think
you
about
have an
it.
idea?
Don't look at it.
It's a phrase called Twitter banging.
I
Like,
guess it's
Yeah.
like a slang, yeah.
Slang. It's obviously sexual.
okay, Twitter banging.
Twitter banging.
Okay. Is that like, I guess it has to do with like, kind of verbally fucking people on Twitter? No?
Oh, come on,
Sorry.
guys. Come on. I'll tell you.
Tell me.
Banging someone that you have exchanged less than 140 words with. Get it? Because it's a tweet.
That's pretty funny. I love that.
I like
Twitter
that.
banging, right?
I like
Did you do
that.
Twitter
That's
banging back
good.
in the day?
I did, yeah.
Bex, you're going to do some Twitter
There's something
banging?
very nice about the thought of Twitter banging, you know?
Twitter banging. Try it, guys. You never know. You never know.
Like that.
That's a good word.
Yeah.
That was a good word of the day.
Thank you. Thank you. I think it's good to rap on, right? Twitter
Yeah,
banging?
that's-
Twitter banging?
Twitter bang.
Jordan, can you tell people where they can find you?
They can find me at, guess where? JordanBelfort.com.
.com.
I'll tell you what, I'm sure there's a lot of guys here, right? And a lot of girls, both, right?
Yeah.
Tell you what, if you're seriously, guys, think about this. If you want to work in the world of sales, right? Check out my website because I got some great companies, really big companies in all different industries looking to hire young, hardworking people that have been already trained. So what you do is when you come to my company, we'll get you a really high-paying job. You can make $1 million a year, or some $1 million.
Don't even think about it. You're staying here, Becca.
And we'll train you first. You get training as well. So it's a really awesome. I think a career in sales is awesome. Not for everybody, but if it's something that you're interested in, check it out.
I agree.
There
I
you
agree.
go.
Check it out. Check it out. Check out. Tell him, Bex. Remind him.
Shagmag.com, baby.
Shagmag.com. Subscribe, like, comment. Check us out on iTunes. The audio is going to be released on Tuesdays. If you want to watch on YouTube, it is released on Thursdays. We will see you guys next fucking week.
Yeah.
Give it up for Jordan.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What a show, baby.
Awesome.
A shit show.